Hi friends, welcome back or to the channel. Jesse, Cadillac Run Customs. So finally got that underneath the carport, and that was an adventure, to say the least. So we got it out from over yonder, pulled it out into the street, and I wanted it to just, we pulled it way up there, and I wanted it to just coast down the road and her just whoop, turn it right into the driveway right here, and then I would only have to pull it, this far. However, shit never goes according to plan. So what happened is I got it up into the road, and I explained to her what I wanted to happen. Let the slack out of the rope. I left it hooked up because she'd never done anything like that before, and I didn't want her to just be kind of free falling down the street. So I left the strap hooked to the Jeep. That way, if she started to panic, I could slam on the brakes of the Jeep and we could slow it all down. But it didn't gain nearly as much momentum coming down the street as I had hoped. So instead of bop up in the driveway, we ended up sideways out there in the street, literally sideways, like this right there. And the anchor I told you guys about, I did not have that in place. So I had to hurry up and unhook the Jeep and drive it all the way up and around, get the anchor out, and it was like a 20-minute deal for me to just get this to this point. Then, while she's sitting out in the street, I start pulling cable off the Jeep, and I forget that the cable on that Badlands winch is not actually attached to the drum. It just goes into a little rasp, and the first two rolls on the drum is what keeps the tension on your cable. I forgot that. So I'm pulling cable down the driveway, and I heard it kick off the winch and go flying across the driveway, and I was like, perfect. Wonderful. So I run in the house, grab the keys to the mistress here, pull the cable off of this, pull the truck in off the street to somewhere in here. Then it takes me about another 15 minutes to get the cable rolled back around the drum of the Jeep and tied back in. Then we start winching it up, and it was easy peasy after that. It was just, I walked next to the truck and told her when to turn the wheel, and we walked it right up here into place. Couldn't get it all the way over, but I did. I just jacked it up and then pulled the jack over and, walked the front end and the ass end over. But it's in place now, and now that it's in place, I can actually start to work on this. I got to change the pedestals because these are FE pedestals. I'm not throwing them away. I'm just going to change them because I am still looking for an FE engine for this truck. So I'm going to keep those, and I got to find a bell housing for it because the one that I got with the engine, the bolt pattern is different where it bolts into the trans. So I got to find one of those, order it in. No big deal. I just need to climb underneath here now and measure the bolt pattern because that's what was keeping me before, is I didn't want to lay in dirt. So that'll be easy. That'll show up in, a week or so. And now, I think what I'm going to do, now that it's under the carport, is bring my engine hoist out and probably just change the pedestals and then set the motor in, just so it's in, and I don't have to worry about it just sitting in the driveway on the engine stand anymore. Also, gotta give a big thank you. I've got a few friends in the car. I got a lot of friends in the car community, but I have a few close to me. And without one, none of this project would be possible. I would just be stuck with a tow truck and nothing to go off of. So I got that bell housing, these pedestals, and that 302 from my buddy Jay here in East Carbon. So I know he doesn't watch them, but anyway, thank you, Jay. I appreciate you. Good morning, guys. It's another cold Utah morning. It's windy this morning, so that's always fun. Now I have to jump up underneath there, and I don't want to because it's windy, and my carport is a wind tunnel, and then when you climb under a vehicle, it gets even worse. But that's the game I play. You know, not having a shop or anything, so out here just, you know, building shit in the cold, and it sucks, but it's got to be done. Okay, now we're under the truck. Look how nice these floors are. Got a little bit of rust right here, but man, I mean the floors are completely rust free all the way through. I've got that good Ford anti-rusting agent all over right here. Floors are good all the way through. Body mounts are solid. Inner fenders are even still solid. That is one of the reasons I picked up this truck, is because it was in such good shape. I was going to buy it either way, but if the body was bad, I was just going to pull the wrecker bed off the back and set it on the back of an old, I don't know, 4-wheel drive square body or something, you know. But this body's so good. I could. I don't want to get rid of it. You know what I mean? So here's your better look. That bolt hole, that one, you get it. The problem is, it's really hard to get this creeper around underneath this truck. So initially, I thought that this transmission was an NP435, which is the same transmission I had in my rock buggy. I assumed that because it's Ford's heavy-duty transmission, and they put it in pretty much everything for about a 20-year period, 25-year period. And there's a reason for that. It's a fantastic transmission. They handle tons of abuse. They don't care. And the shift pattern was the same and all that shit. But when I went to look for the identification tag, which is on the passenger side, towards the bottom of the transmission, this one has a PTO hanging off the side of it. So I couldn't identify it. But looking at the measurements on the bell housing where it bolts in, I'm pretty sure it's a 435, so we're just going to go for it. Got the old one out. That's a heavy bastard. This is the new one that I got. Now the difference is the FE bell housing is completely round, and the non-FE has like the flat top and the flat sides. See the difference there? So, but now that we're in here, I can't back out now. You know what I mean? I'm vested. I gotta see this through, my boy. But while I was in here, I decided to do some scraping on my transmission crossmember. Look at this shit. Somebody had a leaky rear main seal, and it was just draining out the bottom of that FE bell housing onto the crossmember. So hopefully I don't have this problem with that motor I just built. Now that we have some sunlight out here, what I need to do, pull this off, bolt this plate down on there. That way we can pick it up. Because I don't really feel like having a bunch of extra chain going from one head to the other head or none of that shit, because I'm not taking the hood off of this truck to put the motor in it. So we're not going to have a lot of room to play with. So I need my engine hoist to be as low as possible to the top of this intake. It shouldn't be a big problem. It's just plops right down on top of there. I'll find some bigger washers. Alright, I found 3. 3 will do, right? If 3 won't do it, 4 never would have, right? That one will work for my number 4 right there. Washer on the valve cover. I'm assuming they had welded there for a ground, but it works. It'll now get my carb plate down on here perfectly. Attempt to get that through this little tiny spot right here. Usually, my problem is not trying to fit something big through a small hole, you know what I'm saying? But it is today. Ooh, rusty as hell. It's crazy how bad shit rusts when you leave it out in the elements. Well, this ain't gonna work. Look, we're making contact. Maybe we could turn it. See if that'll work. That's not gonna work neither. I have an idea. Realistically, all I need to do is get it past the first corner of the truck, because after that, the truck's in there kind of diagonally, so it'll fit the rest of the way. We had to take this piece out to get it through here. So now we gotta go put all this shit back together. Now let's see if we can bring the engine back through here as well. But it is a tight fit. If you can't tell from your perspective. Rubbed on the tire a little bit on the way through, but rubbing's racing, right boys? There we go. We're still a little ways off. I still got to get a clutch, and a pilot bearing, and I got to get a whole clutch kit. The Dizzy, the timing chain cover is on the way. I got to get all the front drive accessories. But realistically, to start it, all I need is the flywheel and the distributor. But I don't have either one of those two things. But when they show up, we'll pick the motor back out, set it right here, and do the dance. My engine hoist is going to make contact. Right there. We're a little ways off, but let's see if we can make it dance, shall we? We'll take it down a little bit. Just to try to get it in there. Go back up as we come in. We might do it. That hood is definitely not very happy. To readjust this so it's on, I need to move it forward on the thing up here, one hole, so that it comes in on an angle and I don't have to go up as high to clear the oil pan. Okay, let's try this again. Now, 302, meet the tow truck. Tow truck meet the 302. Hopefully you guys can be friends and get along, and you are not gonna run into you, okay? All this shit. There we go. Okay. sir. See? I knew I'd figure it out eventually. Why are you doing me like this, brother? This is a part that sucks about being a one-man show out here. You gotta get creative a lot of the times with shit. See, we're pretty close. Get up a little bit. We're so close. It's there. Okay. Oh, buddy. Pry bar. A little louder than it needed to be, but that's okay. There we go. It's sitting on the mount. It's close to the bell housing, but again, that doesn't matter because all I wanted to do, like I said, is get it in. It ain't exactly perfect. I don't know if you guys can see it down there, but the dowel is not in the transmission at all. But that's fine, it's just in there for mock-up. But what I'm gonna do, I think I've decided, is just take the hood off. When I go to pull the motor out, it's going to be less work than pulling the core support and everything out. I mean, the hood's just 4 bolts. The core support's like, I don't know, 20 or something. So we're going to pull the hood off. Then I'm going to clean these up and the firewall up. We're going to come through with some black paint, and we're just going to black everything out in here because I think that's going to help. Well, not everything, you know, like not the brake lines or any of the wiring will all get covered, but you know what I mean. We're going to paint the inner fenders and the firewall all black. I think that's going to make it look so much better in here, make it look more intentional. And the good news is that FE exhaust down there looks like I might be able to just wiggle it around a little bit and knock it right up on that manifold. And the same thing goes for this side. That pipe's right there at the end of my manifold. It's right there. Now, I know this isn't gonna, it's not gonna be awesome because it's just got a couple of farmer's mufflers underneath there, and I don't know, maybe 1 3/4 inch exhaust. So I do plan on changing the exhaust off this truck, just not right now. I'm doing the exhaust myself. I've done my exhaust work myself for years. It's cheaper, it's easier, and I know exactly what I'm getting because I'm the one doing the shit, you know? So, as far as mock-up goes, it's in. I'm thrilled. Now that I have the engine sitting in the bay, I'm going to clean up the shit, put the engine stand away, and squeeze the cherry picker back through here. And then I'm going to focus on, because like I said, I'm still waiting on parts to show up. Oops. But for now, I'm going to focus on cleaning up the inside here, putting the dashboard back together, which again, thanks Jay for the gauge cluster, but I got to put all this back together, clean this all up. Wish I had the door card for this side, because I have one over there. But that's fine, you know. So, we're probably going to wrap it here. Yeah, thanks for sticking around, guys. Thanks for popping in, hanging out with me for the few minutes that this video is. What do you guys think? I think that engine looks so small in that engine bay. But I'm sure once I get all the drive accessories and all that shit bolted onto it, it'll take up some space. But for now, I'm pretty happy with my progress. So, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel for more tow truck content, because I'm just going to keep pumping out content on this until it at least, you know, starts and moves under its own power. So yeah, stick around, guys. Should be pretty good. Plus we got to do something with this paint. I don't know if I want to keep it this color or if I want to change it. I might just buff it up and, I don't know, see what it looks like. It's probably what we're going to do for now, just to get it to where I can actually drive it, you know. Then we'll worry about the rest of the details later. So, like I said, thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. And remember, guys, your dreams aren't going to work unless you do. So don't let time or space constrictions stop your progress. If your project means anything to you, you'll make time and you'll find space.